What's going on, everybody? Here to give you another repair tutorial. This is for the Benq, the Philips Benq DVD disc drive for the Xbox 360 console. Today we're going to replace the spindle motor. For this one, it will take a little bit more than most of the other drives, and I will tell you there are two technically okay ways to get this to work out. But for the best way, and if you want it to do it the right way, you will need a soldering iron, some solder, and you'll definitely need some little jewelry screwdrivers. These are post-it notes, kinda. This is just a way to make it a lot easier on you. You could also just use paper and maybe some tape or something. But that's just a little trick that I use to keep the wires that you desolder straightened. That way you'll know where to put them and everything when you put them back. The way I'm not going to show you is, and this is mainly if you don't really have a soldering iron and you don't really want to go spend 10 or 15, 20 bucks on one. And I'll kind of explain that a little bit as we go. But that way it's going to be more about splicing wires, and if you are going to want to do that way, you will need a wire stripper of some kind. That way you'll be able to splice the wires and put it back together with maybe just some electrical tape. But like I said, it's not as reliable, and you run the risk of it falling apart later. So I'm going to show you the proper way to do it. Alright, so to get started here, let's go ahead and take this case off, unscrew these 4 screws. Slide this case off. Be careful with the screws, and maybe put them in something with 4 sides so that it won't roll away and get lost. You can even maybe put them in this, because that's kind of got 4 sides. Alright, I'm going to pop this top piece off here. Alright, now, this is the spindle motor here, and these are the wires that go to it. So let's kind of pop these out real quick. So it's going to be these 3 wires here. Now what I suggest doing with your paper or post-it notes is, as you can see, there's a white, a red, and a black. So on pieces of this, you'll want to write with a pen, or whatever. You want to write down the letters. So I'm going to write red, white, and black. Alright, now I'm going to kind of tear these a little bit and separate them. Alright, now what we're going to do is this black wire is on the outside, so I'm going to put that here, or somewhere that doesn't have something in the way. The next wire in the middle is the red one, so what we'll do is we'll take the red one, the red piece of paper, and we'll put it next, right here. Then we'll take the white one. This way it's just so that you won't forget how they go, and when you go to solder it all back together, you'll know quickly and easily what you got to do. Okay, so first we'll go ahead and desolder this. Take your soldering iron and get some solder on it. You will want to put some solder on it because it's going to make desoldering these a lot easier. And just apply it to those areas and get it good and melted down. And get that one. Sometimes if you're good enough solder, you can actually just hit them all at once and just take them all off. But that just kind of depends on you and what you're capable of. Get this last one here. Not quite ready yet. There we go. Alright. Now we got those desoldered. Now what I was talking about with the other way that this can be done, instead of desoldering these, to avoid it, you can actually splice each wire. Then that way there's a piece of these wires still attached to the motherboard. Then what you would do is when you come in and replace it, you'd attach the wires from the new one to these. You'd strip off the end of these and attach the wire for the new spindle motor to the ends of these. Like I said, you could do it that way, but it's weaker and it's not as professional and everything to me. So, like I said, I would always recommend doing this if you have a soldering iron. But obviously, if you're just doing this, you wouldn't probably want to spend 20 bucks on a soldering iron. Anyways, now that we got that, there's a little piece of tape that holds this on, so you kind of want to pry that just a little bit and get that tape up, and that's what holds the wires in place. If you can save it, especially if you're doing this the other way, because that'll help you get some of that extra wire you'll end up with and kind of put it away. Anyways, the worm motor's got 3 little screws, so you're just going to want to take all those out. Just like this. As you can see, kind of fell out on its own after you did that. Alright, now we're going to kind of flip it, and we'll actually pull it out from the side. That tape is probably going to stop me, though. Let me get this tape off. And then you'll pull it out from the side, and it just slides right out. And if you look, there is a little slot where those wires go back, so keep that in mind when you're putting this back together. Alright, so we'll get our replacement here. Oh, I don't drop it and break it. What we'll do first with this replacement is we'll work the wires through that little slot I was just showing you. And as you're doing that, kind of start prying them around and get a hold of them once they come through. Just like that. Alright, now, some people have asked me this, does it matter how the spindle motor gets screwed in? Like, does it have to be in a specific place, or can it be turned a little bit? And it really doesn't matter. There are these little notches in it that hold it in, but you can have those in 1 or 2 different positions, so it's not vital, is what I'm saying. So what we'll do now is we'll go ahead and screw these back in. And I am holding this on the underside with my fingers to make this easier. I know I've got this kind of close up, so you may not be able to see my fingers. Alright, now all we got to do really is solder them back on. So I'll start with the inside one first and then work my way outside. So we'll get my soldering iron and put a little bit of solder on there. Don't take much, especially since there's probably some left. This is just mainly to melt the stuff that's already on there more than anything. And make sure you get a good strong connection. So just hold it in place. I'll get it. Alright, then once you get on there, hold it for just a second. And most of the time you'll be able to kind of see it change color a little bit. And that'll help you recognize that it's cured enough, or whatever you want to say, cooled off enough. Alright, then we'll go to this red one using our little makeshift diagram thing, post-it note diagram. Alright, next we'll do the black one that's on the end. Alrighty, and that is all there really is to that. Now, if you did do it the other way, you're gonna have excess wire, and you do want to try to get that out of the way. Now, this was run actually originally. There's a little itty bitty plastic slot here that you can kind of stick these into, and you can kind of See, there's a little clip here, and that does hold these wires down. So if you just slide them kind of in that little clip here, that'll kind of get them so they don't catch on anything. And you can put that little piece of tape on, especially if it's still sticky. If you do it the other way, what I was saying earlier, just a second ago before I kind of stopped midway, is that tape will help you hold off and kind of get rid of some of that extra wire that you have from splicing the extra wires together. Just remember to take these off. It probably won't hurt to leave them on there, but still. Alright. Another good thing to check, just to make sure you did solder it good, is give these wires a little tug after you kind of got it, just to make sure they're in there good. All these, as you see, I'm tugging and they're not budging out of that little hole. So these are good to go. So now all we got to do is just put this cover back on. So I guess you guys probably don't really need to sit here and watch me do that. But if you guys found this helpful, I would appreciate it if you liked the video and subscribe to my channel. I've got a lot of video tutorials and all kinds of case modding sort of stuff. So you should definitely check that stuff out. Like I said, it really would help me a lot if you'd give me a like for the video, and that way it'll also share the video with some other people that want to do the same thing you're doing. So anyways, guys, I appreciate you watching once again, and until next time.